And we are back, G-Mac and Winnie, coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
Yeah, no, that's better. I don't know. It's one of the music was just really loud. What's up, brother?
Tuesday.
What's going on?
Saturday. Yeah, things happen in the world here. I like how we get started. I'm like, oh shit. I don't have the video up ready to go.
Yeah. So I was ready to be fucking Milton and blow. I want to blow the building up on Thursday night. Yeah. I calmed down, but it took a while.
Yeah, those things happen. So our It Smells Freshies fresh take is fuck mandatory overtime.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, things happen. It's all right. We didn't have anything else really going on this weekend, so it's a Saturday evening, which is nice. We were ahead for a while, so we by keeping ourselves ahead of schedule,
we'll take an occasional week off too, which is nice.
Help, refresh the batteries a little bit.
Yeah, recharge the creativity batteries. We potentially have depending upon your schedule next Saturday, got an interview with the shoot ready to come on.
Oh, we do?
We do.
And
this mission technician, the one and only Rick King.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I said I would check with you today and get back to
him. We'll have to see.
Okay.
Because the boy is with me next weekend, so.
Right. That's what I figured. I said it'll end up being a Saturday evening, just because of the way the R3 schedules pan out.
Yeah.
Just which one. So we'll get there.
Yeah. So my It Smells Freshies fresh take is, what's up with the Babe Ruth hat? It looks like it's from 1930.
It's styled that way, yes. 1933, I believe.
There's a bee on it, and you're the biggest scaredy cat of bees I've ever seen. So.
I am. With moats around it and bees.
Yeah.
No, just this Ebbetsfield Flannels is the website, and they do retro, authentically.
Was that
retro hats?
Was that a Negro League team? Or?
No, minor league ball.
Oh, minor league team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's still, I believe, they're still an affiliate of the Twins today.
Yeah, when you said feel the brim in that thing, it felt like back in the '90s when you try to wash a baseball hat.
Yeah.
Brim would get
just to show the camera, there's like no form to it whatsoever. It's like felt.
That's probably how they really were back then.
They were, yeah. Yep. They do have the Negro League stuff. They have a ton of awesome college stuff. Like the one I want to pick up, and it's 1967 Coastal Carolina.
Oh, nice.
But the colors back then were red and white.
Okay.
So.
Now, you just touched on something that I wasn't planning on talking about, but you said college and what we should probably talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it ties into why you were staying at some place extra the other night.
Yes.
At what point do these colleges just say enough with these kids doing this?
They're not, and unfortunately, because
and here I have no problem protesting. You're going to protest, and you're right to protest.
And there's a difference.
But when you do encampments and when you're doing violence, like they're smashing out windows and all this, when you're causing financial hardships for colleges or things that need to be repaired and all these other things, you've crossed the line.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not mentioning our place of employment. I will say the other night, and it's no secret if you've listened to other episodes, but while I was taking a break the other night, it was 2:30 in the morning, okay? I wanted some fresh air. It was beautiful outside. I went outside. I was sitting on the bench, just taking in some fresh air for a few. Car pulls up. Guy gets out. And for those who don't know, well, I'm sure it's going on all over the place, but in the Northeast, specifically here where we are, upstate New York, Vassar College, SUNY New Paltz, both had these big, protests.
Protests, and they were doing encampments where they were putting tents up, and they were, basically loitering.
Right, but each university handled it distinctly different. Vassar, the president came out and made a statement allowing it as long as they weren't blocking sidewalks or entrances to buildings. She didn't care how long they were there for, as long as they stayed peaceful.
Right, peaceful and probably not insulting everybody that walked by and all these other things.
New Paltz, took it a lot differently. They set time deadlines. Okay, it's cool until this time, and you have to be gone. And they
weren't gone.
They weren't gone. So then they extended it 2 hours, and at the second 2 hours, they still weren't gone. So
see, at that point,
correct.
I completely agree with whatever
Transpired.
them going in and taking care of it.
Right.
Here's the point. Too many times in society right now,
right.
There's no
recourse.
Yeah, there's
nobody's held accountable.
There's no accountability.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. There's no accountability. So you say, hey, listen, we keep moving the line, right?
Right.
Hey, you got till 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock comes. You got till 11 o'clock. And at 11 o'clock, then they did something.
Right.
But the point being, this young generation is so used to everybody moving the goalpost for them all the time.
Getting their way.
Constantly. Sure. Oh, you're going to use our pronouns. Oh, men can get pregnant. All this weird, dumb shit that's going on. They're so used to everybody caving to their demands that when they don't,
they stomp their feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They throw hissy fits.
I want to know, how the fuck is they a pronoun for one person?
Yeah. So,
because that's a multiple.
What happened on the bench?
On the bench. So I'm out there. Car pulls up. Gentleman gets out. Sits down on the other bench. And he sparks up a conversation. If any of the New Paltz students had come to our establishment. I said, sir, I don't know. I've been here since 4 o'clock. Been inside all night. Not that I'm aware. Well, the cops are down there beating them up.
Oh, of course.
And I said, you have a good night. And I went back to work.
Yeah.
Because if you
see
he was trying
to
videos,
debate you into that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you see the videos, they did their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make them leave. And that's what they did. 123 arrests.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But in liberal New York, not one went to jail.
No, of course not.
And liberal New Paltz will probably turn them into parking off pavement.
And I'm going to tell you, the biggest problem I have with and I don't know that they did it at New Paltz, but they were doing it at other colleges.
Right.
When you're pulling down the American flag and putting another flag up, go fuck yourself.
Absolutely.
We should have probably saved this conversation for the next episode.
Yeah.
But it just happened this time. So, you know what I mean? Like, under no terms is that allowed. Like, to me, that is not allowable. And if you feel that, like, how many people are, if you're Italian or I have Irish heritage or whatever.
Sure.
You feel like I have an Irish flag on my wall at my house.
Right. You're American, first off.
Or whatever. But here's the thing. I'm not tearing down the American flag in the country and put my flag up.
Right.
There's no fucking way anybody should stand for that.
Right.
Ever.
Ever.
And here's where this gets into this protest, but other things. If you're of not school age, if you're of war age, like 18 to 35 or whatever, and you come to this country and then you make demands on our soil about how we should treat you.
Right.
And you want to take our flag down and put your flag up, well, you ballless fucking wonder cunt. Why didn't you fight for yourself in your own country and protect that flag there?
Right.
No, you came here to piss and moan and cry because there they'd shoot you in the fucking head and throw you off the roof.
Yeah.
That's the shit I don't go for.
No.
You came here for opportunity, and if you're getting the opportunity, shut the fuck up.
100%.
If you're not getting the opportunity, it makes me think you're probably a terrorist or something, or you're a plant to cause chaos. And it doesn't make sense to me why anyone would ever tolerate that.
Right. Let's
Did I shock you or something?
Not at all. Not at all. I want to see if I can get Preston to sponsor the use of the word cunt on our podcast.
Yeah.
And we get like $5 every time it's uttered.
I know that's a terrible word, but I have a problem. I have a problem with military age people who want to come here and then get tough.
How about enlist?
No, but that's my point.
Right.
You want to come here and then get tough.
Right.
You want to come here and fight with our police. You want to come here and stir up shit. But the group of you, there's 1,000 of them or whatever. You weren't tough when you were in your own country.
Right.
You weren't trying to save your own fucking shithole from getting run over by the cartel or whatever else.
You came to us because we welcomed you and gave you
why
the American dream.
Right. So now you're going to shit on our country?
Fuck
Go
that.
fuck yourself. And that is the It Smells Freshies Fresh Take.
Can we?
We'll make it smell
Can
better.
we switch the top five?
Well, yeah, we can just
let's
flip them.
let's
We'll
let's
flip
flip
them.
it. Yeah.
All right.
This definitely leads into it. So.
Yeah. So let's work right into our top 5. This week's top 5. Top 5 most patriotic moments in our lifetime.
Right. Now I'm going to preface this, and you might agree. A lot of times, the most patriotic moments are times that follow times of disaster, times of war, times of bad.
Correct.
And we see it in everyday life. A friend passes away, and everybody's united for that week where you're gathering, you're going to the wake, you're reuniting, you're getting close again. And 2 weeks later, it's like everybody's back to normal.
Correct.
A lot of times, and we saw it a lot after 9/11, it was super strong for a while. And then I can tell you for certain that within 6 months, you could have gone into an airport and gone right to your terminal with a weapon, and nobody was checking you. I mean, it was...
Well, TSA came out right after that, kind of. But
you know what I'm saying? The level of that level of patriotism quickly dropped.
Yeah, I mean, well, it waved, right? Because, right. And there's some on my list, and we'll get to that. But it dipped, and then it came back because then people started going to war, and then you start seeing the yellow ribbons again.
Right.
So these things do happen.
The ebb and flow.
The ebb and flow of these things, right?
Yep.
I'll start because mine's not really tied to that.
Okay, and my number 5 is not either.
Okay, my number 5, the 2016 Rio Olympics.
Okay.
Michael Phelps came back, going for his, 3rd or 4th Olympics or whatever, since he was a young guy. Now he's the old guy.
Right.
And everybody told him how, you couldn't do it. He didn't belong there. He might have been, the 3rd best swimmer in the world. And he goes out and he wins 5 gold medals.
Right.
And there's that very famous picture of him where he's got his headphones on and he's warming up. And the guy talks shit to him from another country. And he's, super focused, staring at him like, you motherfucker. And he went out there and won that thing. And then when he did his leg of the 4x100 or whatever,
yep.
he made that huge run to get to the wall to set up, the win. Yeah. And I just remember that week, everybody, everywhere, you were at work, you were in the grocery store, everybody was like, Phelps is on tonight. Tonight's the night.
Yep.
And everybody seemed to kind of rally around Michael Phelps and this great American athlete in his final hurrah.
Right.
Holy shit, the old guy's doing it. Hey, this is our guy.
Right.
And a lot of times patriotic moments happen to coincide with sports. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it is.
4 of the 5.
Yeah.
No, I think 3 of the 5 on my list are that.
4 of my 5 are.
Honorable mention, I'll throw it out there since you brought up Phelps, is Nancy Kerrigan.
Correct.
I mean, after that was a very weird thing because that happened.
That was like that was like a domestic terrorism.
It was. It really was. All right, so my number 5, January 28th, 1986, the Challenger disaster. But
everybody in America watched it at that time.
Right. It was an absolute disaster, tragedy that everybody watched live on television. I remember being in class watching it.
By the way, conspiracy theory, did it happen?
Hell yeah, it happened.
No, it happened, but were they really on it?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because they got them pictures, and you're like, well, God dang it, that really kind of does look like them all.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I would say for the time shortly thereafter, it was magnified by the fact that it wasn't just a crew of astronauts.
Right.
We had a school teacher on there for the very first time, Krista McAuliffe, and the nation did really rally around supporting the family and just the sadness that it encompassed. I mean, it was crazy to watch that thing go up. And
because she wasn't a real, not that she wasn't a real astronaut. She wasn't a trained astronaut. She was a school teacher by day.
Right.
And then it was going to be the first school teacher in history to go into the thing.
If we ever have.
And yeah, if we
ever have been in space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We can get into that right now.
But it did rally the country.
Yeah, my number 4 was the 13th anniversary of this just happened.
Okay.
The death of Bin Laden.
I was torn. I was thinking Bin Laden or Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, Saddam Hussein was more like an afterthought. We'd already fucking captured Iraq in
And
like
he was a
6
giant
days.
pussy who was hiding in a hole in the ground.
Yes, but that guy took a lot of balls to stand there with a rope around your neck going, I am this real leader of Iraq until they and
Yeah.
our
You watched
local
the
newspaper,
videos, right?
Yeah, our local newspaper had a picture of him hanging.
Yeah.
Like,
that was recorded on a cell phone.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was done instantly. He didn't jerk or anything.
No.
They know how to hang motherfuckers up there.
They got it down pat. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Bin Laden, May 2nd, 2011, the famous, very late at night, I think it was like almost 11 o'clock, President Obama comes out and says, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And people just went to the streets and cried. And,
right.
In all major cities, everywhere, honking horns.
Right.
John Cena made the announcement at pay-per-view. I think
the only real tragedy of that whole event was he never got to stand trial for all of his crimes.
Yeah, fuck him though.
I hear you.
4 bullets in him.
Wanted dead or alive.
And the fact that they just dumped his body in the sea was smart, because you would have had every jihadist in the world going to that site.
To dig him up.
No,
just really him?
Well, no, not that. More that would have been like
Mecca
for dirtbags.
Right, absolutely.
The Mecca for dirtbags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although, in hindsight, maybe you should have, so that when they gathered there, you could just fucking pick them up with drones.
Drop a second bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, but our country really rallied around, finally capturing that guy. Because you got to figure, that's 10 years later.
Yeah.
Just under 10 years later that they caught him.
It's wild.
So, pretty wild.
All right, my number 4, I was there. Probably it's the only way I can say I was there.
Bin Laden's death? You were there?
October 1st, 2001, the first Jets home game. It was a Monday Night Football game against the 49ers.
Yeah.
I remember I was still working at... No, I wasn't. I was done for United Healthcare, about to embark on our new job.
Okay, yep.
And I remember riding down 17 with my buddy Chris and seeing...
You could still see the smoke billowing, right?
Billowing. Yeah. That was the city skyline at the time. Half engulfed in smoke.
Which, if you were our age, if you're Gen Xer, you always saw the Twin Towers.
Right.
Any ride into the city,
yep.
You always saw they had like their own aura about them.
Yep.
And then that's all of a sudden gone.
So we get there. As we're getting up to our seats, and it was the old Meadowlands. So do you remember the spiral?
Yep.
Okay, so we were walking up the spirals, and there were, I don't even know, a lot of servicemen and women coming in uniform, and everybody stepped to the side, let them through, and applause the whole way.
That was big for a long period of time, with them going in and out of wars and all this other stuff. Like the airports, everybody would clear out of the way and let them have their way.
They had the flag stretched out over the entire
field,
100-yard field.
Yep.
Blue Cantrell did the national anthem, and it seemed like to a standing ovation that lasted for
Did the Jets win?
Minutes. They got blown the fuck out.
Well, in typical Jets fashion, so we knew America was back to normal. The Jets got shit kicked out of them. Yeah.
But being so close to ground zero, and the patriotism that was there for all the servicemen and women that were in attendance, it was that part of the whole night was electric.
It really was. Yep. No, I anything around that time frame there was magical.
Yep.
My number 3, the 1980 U.S. hockey win over Russia.
Yeah, I'm fucking mad that I left that off my list.
Russia we've talked about this numerous times on this show through the 5 years we've been doing it, but they are undefeated for like 24 years or something, because the Olympics back then, Russia could use their players. We couldn't, because they were pro athletes.
We had to use amateurs.
We had to use amateurs back then. And these college kids, slayed Goliath. You know what I mean? And it was a tape-delayed game. So, and it wasn't like today where the internet's out there. Nobody knew this, teletype, nothing.
Right.
And one of the wildest things was at 8 p.m. on a whatever Thursday or Friday night or whatever it was. These kids come back and they beat Russia in like some magical holy shit moment,
Right.
and and then go on to win the gold medal.
I don't know if that was exactly during the Cold War.
Oh no, it was right.
It was
like
center.
right, kind of right in the heart of what was going on.
Right, and that lasted through Reagan's term,
right to like late 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
probably when the Cold War kind of came to a close, when the Berlin Wall came down.
You're right.
Was that 90?
89? 89, I think. Yeah.
So right in there. So, but yeah, heart of the Cold War, heart of almost the Rocky movies. Right.
Yeah.
The Cold War. So yeah, that 1980 U.S. hockey win was everybody was all about. It
was awesome.
Pro America, and it was in Lake Placid, New York.
Right.
So, in America, and they have this magical moment, up there, and it was pretty awesome.
Yep. My number 3, September 13th, 2001. It was the first mass gathering in the country since 9/11, which was 2 days prior, and they got permission from the president to do it. WWE SmackDown live from Houston.
Yep.
And Vince McMahon, say what you want about him today.
Extremely patriotic guy.
Has always been extremely patriotic and gave one hell of a speech that night. The entire locker room was out. That entire arena was going absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
But it was standing in the face of everything that was going on and saying, you can't break us.
Right. And that was the thing. That's the spirit of America, right? Like, no matter what happens, here we are.
Yeah.
Like, we're not backing down.
Yeah. And it's funny. It was great to see such a niche product. Everybody knows pro wrestling. That everybody watches pro wrestling.
But at the time,
it was hot.
Yeah.
And to get, like I said, that entire city, the city of Houston, embraced that concept. Hey, we're going to be the first ones to make that stand and tell the rest of the world, fuck you, you can't beat us.
Yeah, good thing you didn't have Jihadi Jim on the fucking...
Yeah, Muhammad Hassan was not on the card that night.
No, he would have got fucking beat by all the people in the crowd.
Oh, my God.
Number 2, Whitney Houston, National Anthem. I think it might have been like Super Bowl 25.
The one I played over and over and over again?
Yes. It was a New York Giants Super Bowl. I know that.
It was the Giants-Bills.
Hostetler. Yeah.
Right.
And the Iraqi war had just started a month prior.
Wide right.
Yeah, wide right. That was the one, and probably just one of those beautiful, classic, awesome moments where the whole crowd. We hadn't been to war since the Vietnam War.
Right.
So you're talking like 25 years at that point, or maybe probably about 20 years at that point. Probably about 20 years.
Yeah.
We hadn't been to war since
late 60s, early 70s.
Till 1990-ish.
Yeah.
So we hadn't been to war for about 20 years. And then now we're going to war. A war started.
Right.
And she comes out and basically like a basic white thing with some stars and, some stuff on it, red, white, and blue, and sings probably the most beautiful rendition of that song ever.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it took a little while. Highland.
Yeah.
But
and I got shit because I played it every week for SYFL games.
The thing was instead of just having a minute and a half version, I had the 6-minute. Yeah, we played a whole quarter. But anyway, one of the most wonderful moments in, hands down, probably the best version of this national anthem ever sung.
Right. And then she's smoking the crack.
Well, we don't have to go there. We're talking about great moments.
Right.
But that was a phenomenal moment. Everybody.
Although Family Guy had a great moment with that whole skit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2 is a very generic thing, and there's no specific date attached, but if you're a U.S. citizen, you probably did it. Flags on cars.
Yes, the window flags.
I remember a shot in our local newspaper taken in the Hudson Valley Mall parking lot, and it was a sea of American flags. It was fucking amazing. People had them until they got tattered and replaced them with another one.
Right.
And that stayed for a while.
That did.
But it was awesome to see.
That did stay for a while, and the magnetic yellow ribbons stayed for a while.
They did. I lost a bunch of them in the damn car wash.
Yeah, yeah.
They hit the hose, gone. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, no, that time frame, that was a big thing, and that's kind of like what the American Resolve is all about, right?
Right.
You we all don't get along, right? We're the Hatfields and the McCoys, and we don't. But something binds us together,
Right. You
right?
can't pick on my brother.
Right. Only I can
Only
pick
I
up
can
my
pick on my
right.
brother.
You know what
Right.
I mean? But then something like that happens, and we all rally around each other,
Right.
which is great. But how quickly it's gone,
I know.
you know?
Yep.
And then my number one, the 2001 World Series,
Okay.
George Bush's first pitch in New York City. He comes out on the mound with a bulletproof vest on.
Yep.
He doesn't stand on the grass like a commander in chief. He goes from the fucking rubber
Yep.
and fires a fucking piss missile strike right down hole. Patriotic piss missile right down Broadway. Right down Broadway. And Derek Jeter he goes, I wasn't even nervous. I was warming up. And Jeter said, don't bounce it. They'll boo you.
Yep.
And you don't realize the pressure of that moment.
Yep.
You're the president of the United States.
Total dick shot right down the middle.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's a big, big moment. The whole world's watching you, and you're out there with a bulletproof vest on, and you fire a strike right down Broadway.
Yep.
Amazing moment. The crowd went electric. And every one of those games in New York City, you can't tell me that the baseball gods weren't there. That's Jeter became Mr. November. Brocious his walk-off. Back-to-back off of Kim.
Young Kim.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we lost the damn series.
Well, in 7, but
on a dribbler.
But my point being, every one of those games were the most electric games you could ever have.
100%. My number one also, New York baseball. It was 9/21/01. Mets and Braves. Piazza's walk-off.
Yeah, if there was ever a roof on Shea Stadium, it blew off that night. It was
gone. That was the first game back after 9/11.
And the Braves were a thorn in the Mets' side. No matter what the Mets did, the Braves had an answer for them.
The opening first pitches were thrown out by members of NYPD, FDNY, and the Metro.
And that's when
PD.
They were wearing the
FDNY and the NYPD hats with the Met logo.
Yeah.
Bobby Valentine was still the manager, but yes, Piazza comes up, 8th inning, and hits an absolute fucking seed to dead center to put the Mets ahead.
The loudest I've ever heard a crowd in Shea Stadium history.
Yep.
Yeah, and so like when you go through this list and you go through and you look at what we were talking about here, this is all about coming together.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it got, you always had something that brought us together. And now like these things that are going on, I just don't. Generations are different, right?
Right.
Like our generation, shit went on and we just didn't care. Like we were like, fuck off. Like we were that kind of generation, right?
Right.
This generation, they want to worry about everybody else and not realize.
Take care of your own house first.
Right. Take care of your shit. Worry about here first.
Right.
Things aren't great here. You want to make sure we're all right. Not worrying about something. The people that they're protesting over have been fighting since fucking time started.
Right.
That's not going to stop tomorrow, and it's not going to stop probably ever. But coming here and taking our flag down.
That's a good
have you happened to see what happened at Ole Miss with this whole thing?
I did not.
Oh, bro. Ole Miss, they had a bunch of people do the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the Ole Miss, University of Ole Miss.
Right.
So apparently where they picked to do it was in frat row.
Oh, boy.
Ole Miss and the frat boys all came out and basically circled them and sang the USA chants and then sang the national anthem around them and just buried these people. Buried them. And then you got the kids at, in North Carolina that protected the flag when they tried to rip it down. These are things that like you're going to see more and more of because people are done.
Right.
This is like the end of the Me Too bullshit. Like all this, we're caving in that you could be identified as a cat. All this bullshit. This is all coming to the point where people are tired of hearing it.
Yep.
And
Enough,
the
sir.
patriotism starting to come back.
Enough's enough.
Enough's enough. And unfortunately, like you said, a lot of bad stuff happens that makes you go back to being patriotic or
Yep.
enjoying it.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, let's keep her going.
Alrighty then. We need that song to be louder. Before we get doing that, this week's video, as usual, brought to you by
Prairie Plumbing and Oil.
901-4194. And as Winnie says every week, he smells wonderful.
He does smell wonderful.
But he shows up on time. Follow him on Facebook. Give him a like over there.
He's a cult
You can
hero
see all of his
on
work.
Instagram.
Yeah, and you can He's like plumbing god on Instagram and on Instagram. Give him a follow. Take a look at all the stuff that Josh does. Two big things with any construction guy or plumber or heating guy. Are they responsible? Do they show up? And are they reasonable? And he's all of those things.
That is correct.
He will get the job done for you. Moranti Plumbing and Oil, 901-4194. Take a screenshot of this, and he will waive
The service fee.
service fee. All right, buddy, go ahead.
All right. Number 1. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere instantly, but only to places you've never been? Or have the power to time travel, but only to the past?
That's a fucking tough one, bro.
It is tough.
Because I hate traveling. Like, I love traveling, but I hate traveling. Because think about it. Now, before I answer this, I gotta give you some, answer, like, depth here.
Okay.
I've never been to my daughter's neighbor's house. So if I can teleport, I can teleport to her neighbor's house.
Right, that's fair.
Right? So
That's a loophole.
Right, I'm just next door. Right? I've never teleported inside her garage. I've never been in her garage at her house. Oh shit, I'm in her garage. Hey, I'm here.
Nice.
Right? But I'm too fucking curious. I'd want to go back in time, and I would definitely find out like who was in the book depository. All these other things. I'm too curious.
Would you sample the medicinal hemp?
Yeah, from my grand. I'd go up and I'd be singing like a parakeet.
Yes, you would. All right. Number 2. Would you rather live in a world without internet or a world without air conditioning?
Internet. I've done it already.
Yes, me too. Fuck getting rid of AC.
Yeah, because even when I was a kid, when it was hot, it was fucking hot. Bro.
It was. You didn't have the internet anyway. Yeah, 100%. Number 3. Best porn star name: Peter North, Bella South, Kayla East, or Randy West?
Peter North.
What got me going was
northeast, north, south.
I had to find directional names because I already had Peter North or Randy West. I needed the other two. 80s legend.
Yeah.
Super legend.
Yeah. Massive amounts.
Ropes. He could do commercials for like a new boat rope company.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the original Spider-Man.
He is the original. Yeah, he is. Number 4. Would you rather have lemonade come out of your nose every time you sneezed or have bacon for fingernails?
Nah. Sneeze, lemonade.
Yeah, that would just look gross.
Yeah. I mean, your nose will burn, but how often do you sneeze?
Yeah.
Like
today, me 97 times.
Well, no, I know. If you have allergy or something, you might sneeze. But in a week, there's weeks you go by and you never sneeze.
Right.
So
side story: I sneezed before and I almost thought I was in shit.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
You ever sneeze and like your back goes out? You're like, fuck,
yep,
I can't breathe.
I
can't breathe. Yep.
And number 5, fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
The View edition. Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Barbara Walters.
I'm gonna bang Barbara Walters. No. I'm gonna marry Barbara Walters. Bang Joy Behar, kill Whoopi.
I figured kind of that's how it would go.
Hey, well, can I just fucking kill too? Not marry any? Because
kill, fuck.
Joy Behar, just to shut her up.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
I always think of the longest.
I would want to borrow Peter North's package to do that though. You know what I mean?
Oh, in the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right, and that's 5 crazy.
Alrighty. What else do we have on tap? Oh, we have Over and Under, sponsored by the law office of Brian Duran, 339-4313. If you're going through a little bit of a sticky time with financials, and who isn't in this wonderful fucking economy with inflation, and you have to go through bankruptcy, go see Brian Duran, mention the Outlaw Blitz podcast, and get $100 off.
There you go. Number 1, avocados.
Underrated.
Love them. Have grown to love them.
Yeah.
Originally did not.
When we were kids, you could have got 72 avocados for $1. Once they became health food,
that was one avocado for $72.
Yeah.
Number 2, recording a concert on your phone.
Over fucking rated. I'm tired of it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you look at pictures from our generation coming through. Derek Jeter diving into the stands.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people in that area all watching. You don't see a phone anywhere, all present in the moment.
Right.
Let the people with the professional photography
and that's
take the pictures.
That's why people miss the moment, because they're so, I have to record this. Right. Listen, I'm guilty. We've gone to concerts and shit, and I've wanted to record certain things. But yeah, it's way overrated because you miss why you're there.
Right. It'd be different if I had like a little tripod and it was just recording while I was present.
You're Irish. You have a little tripod.
Yeah. I have to get way down low for the tripod.
It's very angled.
I'd have to look like head detective.
Superman.
Just head detective.
Number 3, Taco Bell.
Overrated.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Only a couple things off their menu I like. Other than that, if I'm in a mood for... once they got rid of the shredded chicken burrito and the 7-layer burrito,
yeah,
I'm just kind of down to like... I do like their little tacos in the box and all that, but...
I like little taco boxes.
Yeah, pink American taco.
There you go. With Taco Bell, I'm better off ordering it, driving home, going to the toilet, throwing it, and hit the fucking button.
Yeah.
Because that's where it is in 2 hours.
Yeah, within a very short period of time. Yeah.
Number 4, Ring doorbells.
Underrated. Highly underrated.
Listen,
you get some magical moments on some Ring doorbells.
My favorite video wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Said fat kid on bike.
Yeah. Smashing into a gate. You see some really wild shit on some Ring doorbells.
You do. You catch a lot of fat people falling, which, being a fat person, that's fine. I laugh too. You do catch a lot of good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Number 5, social media influencers.
Underrated. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like we're in a weird age, you and I, because Gen Xers in our late 40s now. There's so many more ways to make money that we didn't have when we were young.
Yeah.
And these kids, I think I sent it to you last week. If you ever see what Sketch's net worth was,
Obscene.
But just
from
how it happened,
where he came to now,
it was like $0. Then it was like $250.
Yeah,
and then like only like 6 months ago, it was like nothing.
Yeah,
and it was 100,000, 300,000.
Yeah,
like with all the different, endorsement type things he's doing. So Tuesday. What'd you say when you came in?
Special teams, special plays, special players.
Yeah, he's that underrated. Do I think, like, sometimes they'll say, oh, here's social media influencer or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Right.
But in somebody's circle, somebody doesn't know who Kevin Harvick is. Oh, Lemonade just came out.
It did. Oh, man. This has been all day. Yeah, and I find that half the YouTube stuff I watch is all influencer-based.
Correct. Which is funny because, Eric Sim, the King of JUCO.
Yes.
He's a social media guy.
Yep.
I would never knew who the fuck that guy was.
He was a 3-year minor league ball player.
Right.
who faded into obscurity.
And them brothers you watch or whatever, the whatever guys.
Oh, the Bell Life
Yeah.
guys. Listen, Trevor Bauer at this point.
Well, no, he had his own major league career. That's
Right.
something different. But
But
I'm saying
he's
like
totally
guys that are strictly that
Oh, yeah.
you would have never heard of.
Logan and Jake Paul.
Guga Foods.
Guga Foods.
Right. Things like that.
Who now has its own line of products in every Walmart in America.
Right. So now that's it. It's mainstream. That's why it's underrated.
Right. Yep, I agree. And my bonus, sunsets.
Underrated.
Yeah, you've taken some great sunset picks at the Stallions games.
Yep.
We've seen them in the Cape. We've seen them pretty much anywhere and everywhere on vacation. So
yeah, are you more sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
You would be.
I am fucking sleeping for sunrise.
Yeah, no, I like to see the sun come up.
Yeah, you're that early.
I've done it. I've gone down. I've got some great video in the Cape of the sun coming up over the harbor.
Nice.
with my drone.
Nice.
So there's something I probably should do is take all the photos I've taken over the years. Like I got some really good video of or a picture of not Hyannis's field. I have that too, but Harwich's field.
Yeah.
And I should have that framed. Like
That'd be cool.
Some of that stuff. I got some really nice shots over the years at different places with my drone or
nice
sunsets and spots.
Yep.
But yeah, underrated. Sunset. There's nothing like a sunset.
I agree.
Except for a sunrise. I mean, depends.
That's it.
Sunset, you get more colors, I think.
Yeah.
You know, more of an orange color.
Right.
You get more of the purpley
the pinky,
in the morning.
Purple color, yeah.
In the morning.
Yep.
All right, moving along to the rabbit hole. What video dragged you down the TikTok, YouTube Reels hole this week? I will gladly lead off.
I got one.
You got one?
I wish I can't remember the guy's name, unfortunately, but he's definitely along the lines of Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Going to all these college campuses and destroying all of these fucking retards.
Oh, he's got like a mustache, dark-haired kid?
I don't think he's got a mustache. He's got glasses, dark-haired, young.
Sitting at a table.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen that kid. I don't know his name. He destroys him.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like, the one kid called him a fascist, and then he gave the fascist definition, and then he kept asking the kid, well, how am I a fascist? And the kid had nothing.
No, and that's what you're finding out with a lot of these kids. Like, these news people are going in and going, hey, what are you here protesting? Right. Like, I don't want to talk. Right. Why are you wearing a mask? Please get away from me. Well, you're down here, you have a purpose. What's your purpose? Here's your chance to tell the world. Not just to scream and be part of it.
Right.
Here's your chance to say exactly why you're here
100%.
And what this is about and what you'd like to see changed. And you're wearing a mask, you're hiding your face, and you don't know what you're here for, and you're not saying why you're doing it.
Right.
So what are we doing?
Right. Wasting time.
Right. If I was those parents, I'd be like, the fuck you are.
Yeah.
At some of these universities that are like probably $80,000 a year.
Dress back in class.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. And shit, I meant to wear it today. I wore this hat instead, but I got my Bauer outage hat. Did you see his appearance, his second start in Mexico?
No.
6 innings, no hits, 14 Ks, and an immaculate inning.
Oh, 3 pitch?
9 pitch inning.
Oh, nice.
9 strikes, struck them all out.
Oh, nice.
Side, yeah.
Nice Bauer outage. Yeah, he should be in the major leagues. He's being black marked by MLB.
100%.
There's no way he shouldn't be on a roster somewhere. My rabbit hole, and I went through it deep this week. Still going through it. The O.J. Simpson murder stuff. For years, I always thought it was his son.
Right.
I still think maybe his son was involved, but there ain't no way he wasn't there.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the whole thing is, as violent of a murder that was, and I've seen pictures and video reenactments now that I've never seen before that they did. Like being violent, like you or I you fucking break, go crazy and you break.
Right.
It seemed way too professional. Like how it happened and how they say he did it, poked him so many times and quick and this. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's a trained hand.
Right.
Like just to go up to somebody, like to be that like fucking,
Meticulous.
yeah, like to stab somebody right in the side. It
Right.
cuts their artery, almost cuts a head off. Like that. Yeah, there's rage, but there's like precision to those strikes too.
Right.
And that's what kind of blew me away about it. But like all these different things start coming out, time frames.
Right.
Like he's in a very tight time frame. Yeah, just wild shit. But yeah, he's very much involved. I used to always think it was the son because still, if you ever watch when he comes back from the Bronco chase, his son goes crazy.
Yeah.
When he gets found innocent, his son's not like everybody else is like cheering on his thing. His son's bawling his eyes out, like almost like, "Oh my God, thank God," kind of thing.
Right.
So I always kind of thought his son was involved, but I watched the last 24 hours of Nicole Brown Simpson.
Oh, jeez.
The fucking OJ Made in America, great documentary by the way, 30 for 30. Tons and tons of shit over the last week because with him dying recently, all that shit's coming up. Right. So
I watched. I watched a couple weeks ago, 42 a couple times.
Yep.
Love the movie.
Jackie Robinson.
Yep. So there was a documentary that basically covered black ball players that came in the immediate years after Jackie Robinson. Like Jackie Robinson had a short major league career because he was older when he got there.
Right, because
he retired when he was 38. He was
Yeah.
he had just gotten traded to the Giants, and rather than play for somebody other than the Dodgers, he retired.
Respectable.
Absolutely. So they basically highlighted like Kurt Flood, who was I think he was the first free agent, and Bob Gibson, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and how it took until 1968 for all of Major League Baseball to finally get integrated. The Red Sox being the last team, grabbing Elston Howard from the Yankees when he was a free agent. Or maybe that might have even been a trade, but it took a while. You figure if Robinson came in 47, 21 years until the last team got their first black player.
So figure it's them Irish guys up in Boston.
Yeah, it was a slow but steady integration.
Well, you know what really sucked at that time is it took away from people's like Satchel Paige, right?
Right.
You know
he
what I mean?
was damn near 50.
Right.
By the time, or he was definitely in his 40s when he finally got a major league contract.
Right.
The A's brought
all
him,
their youth and all their excellence.
Right. The A's signed him. They thought it was a gimmick. He was 56 years old. They signed him in the mid 60s, and he still came out and threw 3 shutout innings.
Right.
Go figure.
But you know what I mean? Like you get them when they're a fraction of what they were at their peak. You know what I mean? So it really sucks. It took all that time to get there.
And the stats were not really recorded for the Negro League ball players. So most of what you hear about is guesstimates at best and first person recounts of like how good these guys were.
Yeah. The shit part about all that, right? You're going to say, oh, well, Babe Ruth didn't play against black guys and he didn't play in night games. And okay, facts. All right. And then you're going to say Satchel Paige was, dominant. Yes. Okay. So how many guys came out of Negro leagues that came to MLB and had, great career, or some sort of a career, right? Sure. And you go, yeah, that's a handful or not a handful or, a small percentage.
Right.
So how many of those guys weren't, how many of those guys were fucking car dealers and stuff also?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yes, there were some greats, just like Babe Ruth was great.
Right.
And you would have wanted them all to play together. But don't act like, Satchel Paige couldn't have came and been an all-star and a Cy Young Award winner. And don't also act like Babe Ruth couldn't have went to the Negro Leagues and hit 60 home runs.
100%.
They both, great players are going to be great.
And the eras are so comparable. Now, again, Eric Sim, everybody knows I watch him every week. Last week's video, even if you're not an Eric Sim fan, go and watch this video because it was super interesting. They took what was the perceived average starting pitcher velocity and what the arsenal may have been.
Yeah.
And they programmed the machine, and they went, I think, from the 30s to modern day. Your average major league starter in the 30s only threw about 78 miles an hour, topped out.
78?
78. You didn't see not an average starter throwing 90s until probably the Nolan Ryan era, mid to late 70s. You had a handful. Your
Well, think about it.
Your Bob Gibsons.
Dwight Gooden in the low 90s was
Right.
hard thrower in the 80s.
Roger Clemens at 94
was like
that's
yeah.
cheese.
But then it makes you wonder, have they gassed the guns?
It's possible, but I think you've got before you had like I'll use Gil Hodges for example. Gil Hodges was an all-star first baseman for the Dodgers who ran a bowling alley in Brooklyn in the offseason because you didn't make that money. Now Gil Hodges gets done with the season and he is in a weight program. He has a chef.
Right.
He has time to do anything training-wise he wants to do.
Right. How many of these guys were just normal 9-to-5ers even during the season?
Right.
Like, they didn't have trainers and all.
Right.
They had people that, like, would tape them up, but they didn't have, like, the stuff they have now.
Yeah. Your average off-speed pitch modern day sits around 84 to 85 miles an hour.
That was 6-7 miles an hour faster than
their fastball.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Could you imagine, like, you step in the box, like, time warp, and you get Babe Ruth in the box and 95 down Broadway and then an 84 mile an hour curveball?
Now, how do you know? Does Babe catch up to that?
Well, swinging that 40-ounce bat, he probably didn't.
That was another video he did too. He got a Babe Ruth authentic weight and length bat.
Huge bat.
He said it was like swinging a friggin' tree trunk. It was brutal.
Yeah, but at 78, that's why you could get around
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, listen, that's why eras, you can't really compare eras to different things. Like, it's like if you went to the NBA, Michael Jordan getting the lanes that these guys have today in this transition game would have 60 a night.
Right. I think I said this on one of our recent shows. It was Shaq, Iverson, and a couple other guys. And Shaq asked Iverson, what would you score today? He said, well, in the year I lost the scoring title to Kobe, I averaged 35. Kobe averaged 36. He goes, I'm pretty sure I could probably get 45 a night now.
Right. So what would Jordan have gotten?
Right.
You know, different world, different time. You know, same thing.
Different
Football, hockey. I'm sure it's all the same.
Yeah.
You know, bigger, stronger, faster.
Did you see that?
Technology's improved.
Right. Listen, you can see it. Mike Tyson's current workouts.
Yeah.
He is hooked up to machines.
Yeah.
That stimulate the muscle as he's doing his.
You just said something that triggered a memory that I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Have you seen this knob on who's the really good shortstop from the Reds?
Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz. He has this knob that has technology in it that shows you your bat speed and all this stuff.
And your launch angles and all that stuff?
Well, no, just like the speed of the knob of the bat.
Okay.
Right? And there's a technology button in it, and it's not allowed when you come up to bat. Well, Cruz, or Dela Cruz, however his name is, he liked the feel of the knob with the thing on there, so he took the technology part out.
And just left it.
And just put the rubber knob back on the end, right?
Yeah. So
whatever team they were playing last week protested it. They made him change bats. He changes the bat, hits a fucking piss missile to the bat.
His exit velos are stupid.
And then in between, Major League Baseball responded to the umpires like in real time. So by the time he came up the next time,
he was allowed to use it.
Good. So, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You shouldn't have technology on the bat to know, hey, this was my bat speed, this was whatever.
Have you seen the umpires, Adrian Hernandez, being one of the main ones, fucking up with this new pitch call system?
No.
So, the catcher has it on his shin guard.
Yeah.
Pitcher wears it on the hip.
Yeah.
They call the pitch. It goes to the audio in the helmet.
And the hat.
And the pitcher's hat and then the catcher's helmet.
Well, especially that is big because of different languages.
Right. So the one pitcher calls it, and catcher didn't get it. So he motions for him to call it again. Pitcher calls it again, gets called for a balk. Umpire comes out. He's like, that was a balk. He's like, he didn't get the fucking signal. The coach comes out to argue it, calls the ump a clown. He gets thrown out. But this is happening consistently.
Yeah.
Like, you got to figure this out, guys.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Why do we need fucking something that tells you the pitch?
Because the Astros.
Well, yeah,
That's
100%.
why.
Yeah, because they were cheating like motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But then there's the thing, accountability. We started this show way back when with accountability.
Right.
They did nothing to those people.
1,000%.
Nothing.
Nope.
If there was fucking accountability, guess what? If you find them $100,000 a player, again, you wouldn't be stealing signs, would you? You wouldn't want to get caught stealing signs.
Right.
But with no accountability, boom.
Yep. So I'm prairie dogging.
All right.
So
we can
are
wrap
you
this
good?
up. I am good. Bring us home, big fella.
All right. For G Mac, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast. And as always,